Hey guys, OGalbina here, and today I have a bit of a different kind of challenge video. We'll be playing Radical Red, but instead of a Nuzlocke, I'm actually going to attempt to beat every gym leader in this game with only one Pokemon in each battle. The rules are pretty self-explanatory. I can only have one Pokemon in my party per gym, with the exception of Sabrina, but we'll touch on that more when we get there. And the second and probably the most important rule is that this is not a Nuzlocke. I will be trying to beat these in as little attempts as possible, but the run isn't over if I lose. I'm more so using this as an opportunity to try and come up with creative sets and solutions for the very well-rounded teams the gym leaders of this game tend to have. That's really about it. If you guys are new here and you happen to enjoy the video, be sure to sub for more, as well as dropping a like. And let me know if you guys would want to see a part 2 of this, where I fight the Johto leaders, rematch some of the Kanto leaders, or even fight the Elite Four, if that's possible. Alrighty, let's jump into it. First up is Brock, and funnily enough, this might be the hardest gym in all of the gym fights for me to beat. I tried not to rely on RNG for most of these strats, but due to the lack of Pokemon available to me and the shallowness of their early game move pools, I was kind of forced to in this battle. After a ton of research and calculating, I decided that Meditite was actually my best bet for the battle. Usually in Nuzlocks, I go for Chinchou and Viridian, so I honestly had no idea that Meditite was a 1% encounter rate in Viridian City. After doing some searching, I can progress through the story and fight Brock. Like I said, this fight requires a bit of RNG to work, and it took multiple attempts, so bear with me. Brock leads Geodude, so I fake it out with Meditite and break it sturdy. The turn after, I can detect to avoid it exploding in my face. Next up is Vulpix, which I have to get an 87.5% roll with Rock Tomb to knock it out. Not too bad, but now I need to get even more lucky. Next up comes out Archon, and I have to get a crit on it with Rock Tomb. I could live a Pluck, but I need the HP later to take on Onix and potentially cheese it down. Adamant would have been able to kill the Archon with a Rock Tomb guaranteed, but if I did that, then I wouldn't be able to outspeed it or outspeed the Vulpix, making that strategy null and void anyways. After many attempts, I get the crit and knock out Archon, saving some much needed HP for Onix in the back. My RNG fishing isn't over yet though. Onix comes out next, and funnily enough, this is actually a speed tie, and knowing that it'll bulldoze, I Rock Tomb to break it sturdy and lower its speed alongside my own. Now here comes the big RNG fishing. I have to Force Palm here and not only get a para, but fully paralyze it the next turn. After a few attempts, I get said para into full para, win a few speed ties, and take home our first badge. Misty is next, and in contrast to Brock, this is probably our easiest battle. We can essentially just lead Ludicolo because she has absolutely no coverage for it, and just click Mega Drain and win the game. Ludi is so good versus Misty, it almost seems like it breaks her AI, as she spams Flip Turn to get momentum into her next sack piece while we knock out her entire team. Second badge down. Next up is Surge, who is a bit more difficult and requires more game planning. However, by this point in the game, we have access to a lot more Pokemon and deeper move pools, allowing us to form much more solid game plans. For this gym, I decided to use Camerupt. It hits Surge's entire team super effectively, on top of only being hit super effectively by Pincurchin in the lead slot. I can also boost up to speeds faster than everything on his team and kill everything with proper positioning. He leads off with Pincurchin, as I said, and I go straight for an Oko with Earth Power. Next up is Alolan Raichu, which tries to set up a nasty plot in my face, as it likely didn't see a KO with Psyshock. However, it never gets the chance to attack us, as we knock it out with an Earth Power. Next up is Octoberry Vikavolt, which we can't as easily Oko. Thankfully, it can barely touch us, so we can set up sufficiently if we avoid crits. First, I Flame Charge to pop its Octoberry, as it does decent damage with an Energy Ball. I then Rock Polish up, because +3 ensured I could outspeed the likes of Mega Manectric and Boltund, as I take another Energy Ball, popping my Citrus Berry. Next, I took out the Vikavolt on the subsequent turn with a Lava Plume, and the last two were easy pickings as Earth Power nuked both, grabbing us our third badge. Next up is Erika, which I thought I had an easy plan for. Swords Dance Scolipede. It stabs rip through Erika at +2, and I could set up pretty easily on the Rillaboom lead. That was until I remembered I don't get Swords Dance until after Erika. But then I thought of a pretty easy but creative solution. Weakness Policy. I went with the moveset of Poison Tail, Mega Horn, Protect, and Iron Defense. I would Iron Defense on the Rillaboom turn 1, as I thought it was most likely to U-turn into Sudowoodo, which I could then take a Head Smash from after another Iron Defense, then sweep through after I popped my Weakness Policy. However, much to my surprise, Erika actually went Superior on the U-turn. I changed plans and Poison Tailed as it popped my Weakness Policy with an HP Fire. The next turn, it pivoted Sudowoodo, which I KO'd the following turn with a Mega Horn. After that, I OHKO'd everything minus Mega Venusaur, which was an easy 2-hit KO, and won ourselves our fourth badge. If not Brock, Sabrina was going to be our most difficult challenge because she was a forced double battle. This will be the one exception to our one Pokemon rule, as it forces you into a double battle, so you have to bring 2 Pokemon. Plus, I think it would be low-key impossible to win 1v6 with 2 Pokemon on the opposing side due to overwhelming amounts of damage onto your Pokemon. This is a bummer, but we'll be able to try out some cool doubles-based strategies, which is a plus at least. My first idea was to try redirection alongside Belly Drum Snorlax, but this plan fell fat when I realized that Expanding Force was a spread damage move. Stupid singles brain. Even with the light screen, I was constantly overwhelmed by damage. On to my next idea, which I got from my good buddy, It's Whatever, or Ant. We decided to go for an Anger Point sweep with Crocodile plus Unpheasant. For those who don't know, when an Anger Point Pokemon is crit, it maximizes its attack. If I could crit Croak with a weak Night Slash, I theoretically should be able to OHKO her entire team with a +6 Earthquake. We do just this until a big problem in a faster Mega Gardevoir comes out, which should OHKO us with Hyper Voice. However, I equipped Croak with a Roselli Berry so that I could live a Hyper Voice on a Sliver, and then complete the sweep. Next up is Koga and some good old AI and manipulation. After testing with Ant, we realized that we could pretty easily cheese the AI. Originally, the plan was to lead Weakness Policy Tyranitar and bait the Swallow into U-turning as we Rock Polish up and sweep. The only issue is that +2 Jolly Tyranitar doesn't outspeed Timid Selgor, which easily revenges us with Sheer Force, Life Orb, Bug Buzz. However, we realized with some testing on Ant's save file that if you hard Rock Slide on the Greninja coming in after the U-turn, you could knock it out and Swellow would come back in instead of a Selgor for some reason. On top of that, it clicks Boom Burst for whatever reason, which does not 2-hit KO after the U-turn chip, allowing Tyranitar to set up 2 Rock Polishes and outspeed and kill the rest of his team. This is a bit of a cheesy way to sweep him, but hey, this challenge is all about finding ways to exploit these leaders and their teams, and this is really the same thing in my mind. Blaine is next, and there was honestly a ton of Pokemon I could have used. But he was also the easiest leader for my mascot and favorite Pokemon, Salamence, to sweep on lead. This one's super simple. I led with the Salamence and Dragon Danced on his Torkoal as he exploded, but we equipped a Chalon Berry to reduce its power, keeping us out of range of a Sludge Bomb from Venusaur, which will be faster than us, even with our +1 speed. From there, Adamant Moxie Mets keeps compounding boosts and kills everything en route to a pretty easy gym badge. And with my favorite Pokemon, no less. Last up is Claire, and as per my boy Star's request, who also helped a ton this run, I used one of his favorite Pokemon in Hawlucha with a cool strategy we came up with. The issue with Claire's team is that it's hard to set up on her lead, as it's a very fast Focus Sash Taunt lead arrow, preventing shenanigans in theory. However, I gave Hawlucha the Mental Herb, allowing it to shake off the taunt and Swords Dance. And due to our ability on Burden, we were now faster than the arrow and could Swords Dance again to get up to +4 before finally being taunted. From there, we just 2-hit KO with Drain Punch. Next up is Magearna, which we unfortunately cannot kill with a +4 Drain Punch, so we have to risk a high jump kick miss. Thankfully, we hit and we OHKO it. Next up is Naganadel, which we OHKO with a +4 Stone Edge. Next up comes out Dragonite, which I actually decided to Drain Punch in order to break its multiscale and avoid popping its Weakness Policy. Because of no boost, I actually have a small chance to live a dual Wing Beat, about a 40-ish% chance, and kill the following turn with a Stone Edge. However, for some reason I forgot E-Speed would just pick me off the following turn and just make this set worthless. Luckily, I get absolutely bailed and dodge the dual Wing Beat, and I'm able to KO the following turn with Stone Edge, and then sweep through the last 2. This win kind of feels the lamest because I got super lucky, but oh well, RNG giveth and RNG taketh. However, in some theory crafting after recording, me and Ant learned that Shell Smash Mental Herb Torterra could sweep this even easier. So give that a try if you want. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and let me know what you thought of this kind of video. Like I said before, if there's any different strategies that I should have tried for any of these battles that you would have tried, please let me know in the comments. I think that would be really interesting to read. And if you guys want to see a sequel or a little bit of a mini-series of videos like this with the Johto leaders, Kanto rematches, or even the Elite Four, let me know. Be sure to sub for more and drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.